Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sleepy Jazz, and you already know what time it is. It is time for another Genshin Impact Theory slash lore talk kind of deal. I'm not really sure if I should consider this a theory or just kind of talking about the lore. Well, I guess it could be considered more of a theory since it's nothing that's confirmed. It's just a little observation I made from reading another theory and just kind of really thinking about the goals between, the Traveler, the Fatui, the Abyss, and maybe even the Archons themselves as well. But anyway, let's get to the point. So I'm going to start off by getting straight to the point, and then I'm going to break down and explain a few things. But from what I have observed and thought about, the Traveler, the Fatui, the Abyss, and possibly even the Archons, in a way, are all working together to achieve one goal. And that goal is to destabilize or maybe even take down the Heavenly Principles and Celestia itself. Let's talk about the Traveler's goal first. Now obviously we know right now we're currently in search of our twin, because according to the Traveler, their twin was taken by the Abyss. The Traveler, or we think that the twin didn't join on their own free will, and rather the Abyss has kind of, I guess, manipulated them. But either way, we're looking for our twin, and we are also in search of the unknown god, trying to find out, who the unknown god is, and stuff like that, trying to figure out the unknown god's whereabouts and stuff like that. Now, I'm going to move on to talking about the goals of the Fatui. Now, obviously, the Fatui seem to have multiple different goals, but also they seem to have one goal in common to the Traveler, and that is also kind of going up against the unknown god. Because, for one, the Cryo Archon, I believe, is the one who has sent out the Fatui to gather up all the Gnosis and bring them back to her. And also, the Fatui are just literally like everywhere, And it seems like they're also trying to basically weaken some of the nations and trying to get them to follow into their lead and stuff like that. But anyway. Now I also want to get into the goal of the Abyss. Now obviously, the Abyss also has multiple goals, but their goals seem, mostly to relate to the unknown god and Celestia, considering that they are from Conria. Their goal also is pretty much to, go up against the unknown god. They want to bring back, Conria, that's currently laying dormant under Sumeru. So they are trying to gather up the power. Pretty much, the Traveler, the Fatui, and the Abyss are all pretty much trying to gather up the power to go up against the unknown god, because of course, as it is obviously shown at the very beginning of the story, the Traveler and the Traveler's twin weren't really powerful enough to stand up against the unknown god themselves. So obviously, to defeat the unknown god, and to destabilize Celestia, and to basically, I guess, throw away the Heavenly Principles, they're going to need some sort of big ultimate power. And now, before I go into any further detail, I would also like to explain kind of why I think that the Archons are kind of in the whole, ordeal about wanting to go up against the Heavenly Principles, and basically kind of go up against the unknown god. And yeah, but anyway, the reason why I say that the Archons are kind of also into this plan is because I don't know if you guys have ever noticed within the story, but they all seem to have some sort of resentment towards Celestia and the Heavenly Principles in a way. I mean, with the recent events, like, you know, unfolding with the Hydro Archon, I kind of don't blame her if she wouldn't like Celestia. I kind of also wouldn't like Celestia if they wanted to kill me for my creation, just because I didn't get permission from them. But anyway, if you haven't noticed it, the Archons do kind of have some sort of resentment towards Celestia. They also don't really have a problem, or seem to have a problem, with their Gnosis being taken by the Fatui. But I also think that's for multiple reasons. One being that the Gnosis aren't really that important, because the Archons can still, you know, wield their powers without the Gnosis. And if what Skirk says is true, now this is quest spoilers, please ignore this if you haven't completed the most recent Archon quest. But as Skirk says, the Gnosis is actually left behind by the third Descender who had passed on. And the Gnosis actually contained some sort of curse or something. But either way, the Gnosis seemed to not be as important to the Archons. But this also could be that they trust the Cryo Archon with their Gnosis. So, I don't think the Fatui is really, like, you know, evil or bad for taking the Gnosis. That obviously, you know, like, this whole theory doesn't really throw away the fact that the Abyss and the Fatui have done anything bad. I'm just saying that, like, you know, the bigger evil is basically the Heavenly Principles and Celestia itself. But anyway, back to my main point, my main theory is that, in a way, the Traveler, the Abyss, the Fatui, and even the Archons are all sort of working together to achieve one goal, to destabilize, and to basically get rid of the Heavenly Principles. But I think also the recent Archon quest does actually kind of prove the Heavenly Principles to be the bigger of evil at the moment. And I also think that the way we're all subtly working together to kind of go up against the Heavenly Principles is definitely going to have an effect on the way the game ends and stuff like that. At first you'd kind of think, you know, oh, it's just going to be the Traveler and Paimon, but I think it's going to be bigger than just Traveler and Paimon versus Unknown God and receiving our twin from the Abyss. It's definitely going to be a lot huger than that, considering what, you know, all of our plans are and how they're basically sort of colliding with each other. But I think that's pretty much it for this video and this theory. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you have anything to correct me or, well, basically to correct me on or to add on to this theory, be sure to comment that below. But anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!